I can't make my husband come. I know. I already fucking know this is stupid, but I can't take it. We've been together for nearly 5 years now and it was not a problem until maybe a year and a half ago. He can't come because of a medication he has to take and it's a known side effect. I know it's not my fault but I feel fucking worthless. He knows my body completely and when we have sex it's really good sex. We go for hours sometimes and when I start getting tired, I hint that he should finish. But he doesn't and it keeps going. Sure, a dream come true for some but I'm fucking sore and tired. I literally try to make him finish but he just won't for hours. I've blown him for 2+ hours and nothing. The other night I was out visiting family for 2 weeks and when I came home I gave him everything he's been asking for and we had sex for 5 fucking hours straight and guess what? He still doesn't come. That night something just snapped in me and I couldn't take it anymore. I feel ugly, fat, worthless, undesirable and I feel stupid for feeling like this. He's taken the same medication prior to our marriage and relationship in general, so why the fuck is it a problem now? He can jerk off on his own fine, so what's the point in initiating anything with me? When I talk about it with him all he says is, well, it's better than coming quick. It's a good thing if you really think about it. Every time he says that I argue back that it is not and I'm fucking sore all the time. He says, well, we can stop whenever you're tired. But that's not the fucking point. I just want to make my husband come but I can't even do that. What more does he want from me? I'm afraid to eat because what if I gain weight? I've only been wearing baggy clothes because it hides my body. I can barely even look at him anymore and it's for such a stupid reason. My wife is making me miserable. We've been married for a year, we have a good sex life, and everything is great most of the time. Except when we have friends come over, or when we go out with friends. Every fucking time a woman makes an interaction with me, and I just reply to her, it's a problem. I am literally not allowed to talk to any woman, in any way, nor answer a woman that asks me a question. Keep in mind those women are married to my best friends, that we hang out with. I had friends come over yesterday for movie night. We sat and watched a movie and ate snacks and had a great time. I am a doctor in engineering, so his wife asked me about a career that she is pursuing, or trying to, gave her my honest opinion and it went well and probably convinced her to go to college. They left, my wife looks at me like I fucked her sister in public, and doesn't talk to me, sleeps in a different room and shit talks me. No clue what was wrong. I wake up today and I ask what's wrong, and she tells me she thinks I have a dynamic relationship with my best friend's wife. I asked her, why? Her answer was, the way you were sitting talking to her about engineering was not acceptable. I was sitting on a fucking couch, while she was sitting next to me, and the woman was sitting in front of us, about 10 feet away, looking at me and talking. I mean, who the fuck am I gonna look at while talking to her? The wall? This is not the first time this has happened. She literally does it with everyone. I don't want divorce as I love her too much, but she is driving me fucking crazy, and I don't know what to do about it. I am not spending another 40 years of my life watching every word I say to a woman and not looking at her while talking because I have a psycho as my wife. I cannot understand any accent and it's getting out of hand. I, 28F, am a white Midwesterner. I cannot fully understand accents that aren't Midwestern based. I'm not sure what to do because I'm starting to feel like a bad person. I used to work as a hostess in a restaurant where we'd, obviously, get all different kinds of people visiting. I had a family come in from somewhere in India, I think. This man had a wife and 2 lovely kids. He was apparently asking me if he could switch seats to a booth instead of a table. I asked him to repeat himself at least 5 times because I couldn't understand his accent. The man looked so blatantly discouraged. He obviously worked hard to learn a second language and I couldn't even process the words he was saying. I felt like a dick. I thought maybe he just had a thick accent and I'll get better at understanding people. No. I've gotten worse. I spoke with a woman recently who was from the South, USA, and she had a very country accent. I had no idea what the woman was saying to me and frankly just guessed. I was taking a full shot in the dark on responding to her because I was catching maybe every 4th word. My physical therapist is a woman from India as well and she has an accent. It's not very thick of an accent but it's still noticeable. I didn't realize how heavily I relied on reading lips until I couldn't. My physical therapist wears a mask to work so I never see the bottom half of her face. I have no problem with people wearing masks for any reason, but it's making my already dismal interpretation skills that much more difficult. I should add that medically, my hearing is fine. I don't have any sort of hearing condition that I know of and I don't suffer from tinnitus. I never really listen to much loud music and if I ever go to a loud movie or concert or something, I bring those little Loop brand earplugs with me so I can protect my hearing. I don't know what to do. It's kind of embarrassing at this point and I feel like a jerk. I don't want to make people feel bad for their accents. I don't know if this is a mental issue or if I'm just kinda dumb. Not sure if this matters but I think I suffer from face blindness too. My fiancé is reconsidering our marriage after visiting my home country. To start, I come from a small island in the Caribbean, part of the US. I moved to the US 5 years ago, just after graduating university and landed a job here. Since day one my fiancé has been romanticizing what is to live in a tropical paradise that is my country. I love my country and I was raised there, but it's not even close to a paradise. Of course it has its charms but not close to that level. Well, we were planning our honeymoon and she wants to stay there for 2 weeks and travel around the island. I am not fond of that idea, because I have seen it all and she wants to visit not safe areas around the island. Her main point of attraction is a place that is in a huge musical video, but it's not a safe place for tourists. So I said, fine, let's just do a quick visit before our wedding so we can see what is going on. She immediately accepted and 1 month later we traveled to my home country. She wasn't impressed but I kept my mouth shut. We arrived at the place and I already know today is a hot day to be there. I try to convince her but she insists on going in. The locals are eyeing us and my mind is screaming we should not be here. Not even 3 feet in and 2 guys confronted us. She started talking in her broken Spanish. Sorry babe, just made things worse. I tried to calm down the situation and we left soon after. I kept my mouth shut even though I just wanted to tell her I told you so because this was stupid from the start. On our way back home she didn't say a thing even after I tried to open conversation. Well, today, 1 week after we arrived, she left her ring at the nightstand with a note telling me she needs some time. I fear this might be the end of it all. She never does this kind of things. My husband got a husband stitch behind my back and a year later I can't get over it. For those of you who don't know, a husband stitch is an extra stitch done on the vagina after birth to make it tighter for the husband. I, 25F, gave birth a year ago and my husband, 34M, who was a surgeon at the hospital I delivered, was asked by his colleague, the IBGYN, if he wanted an extra stitch. My husband said yes because he thought it would make sex better for the both of us. I didn't notice as I was out of it, but I was in a lot of pain afterward. Since it was my first kid I was not sure if it was normal or not. I kept asking the nurses who told me it might be because of the husband stitch. I asked her what that was and she explained to me. I thought at first the doctor had just done it and I wanted to report him, but then my husband said he had agreed to it. I felt violated. This wasn't the first time a man violated my body. I was a molestation victim as a child. But this was the first time it was someone I loved. When I told him this, my husband was extremely angry. He said he did it for both of us and he didn't think it was such a big deal, that he didn't know it would cause issues. I pointed out he was a neurosurgeon and he said he wasn't an IBGYN. The fight got ugly. I screamed at him to get out, and in the end, I had to be sedated. I had the same reaction every time he tried to see me. So for the whole time I was at the hospital, 3 weeks because of a slow recovery, I didn't see him. Now my son has turned a year old and things between us are non-existent. I only talk to him about our son. We sleep in different rooms and I don't let him so much as kiss me. He is extremely remorseful, especially as he saw how much it affected my recovery. He genuinely thought it was okay as the college presented it, as it will make the sex better. But why would a tighter vagina feel better for women? That only feels good for men. He has asked for couples therapy, which I have refused. I have taken up freelancing, so I am making some of my own money. My husband thinks I am doing that because I plan to leave him, as I was initially dependent on him. He's partially right. I don't see myself getting over this. I am NC with my family and I live in his country. I have no friends but his friends, no family but his. Everyone is on me to make things right. They say he was wrong, but I can't hold one mistake over his head. My current country isn't exactly known for women's rights. Femicide is more common here than you might think. I am also on a spouse visa. I can't leave him until my son is at least old enough to remember me. Because if I leave, there is a 90% chance I will lose custody. What should I do in the meantime to make our relationship bearable?